Well, I'm just waiting for what's-her-face.
What's her face? Get fucked.
Sage Murray or whatever.
I've known you for 1,000 years.
Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
The atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than your right hand.
It is our basic human right to be fucked up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Occultae Veritatis.
Welcome back to Occultae Veritatis. I'm Richard Bigley, and in studio with me today I have
Sage Murray.
Leon Filger.
Ood Gallifrey.
And my special best friend in the whole wide world,
Esmeralda.
Oh, yay.
Ooh, I like that.
Hachimachi.
So, let's just jump right into the poison.
So, what's your poison?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
So today we're having old style Pilsner.
This is shit.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's fridge beer.
I don't know. It's the beer your uncle would drink or have in his fridge when you go visit him, that kind of thing.
It's the beer I drank all 2 weeks at work.
This beer is bizarrely popular in Saskatchewan, and I don't understand why, because there are so many better options available.
It's because you can say, hey, let's go have a pill. And that's kind of fun to say, I guess.
It is.
And it's really like cheap, you know.
I prefer to say I'll take a pint of 16.
Can I tell you what I like about it?
Yes.
The picture on the front kind of looks like the logo of Old Dutch Chips, and I like Old Dutch Chips. So.
Very good. Yes, that's an astute observation.
Oh, yes. Is there a windmill? Oh, there's no windmill. Those fuckers.
There is a teepee, though.
Yeah. Which is 18% of a windmill, I believe.
And 18. A horse-drawn carriage, so you know the folks in the teepee are getting oppressed.
Oh, yes.
They're getting oppressed.
There's colonialism coming. Yeah. Oh, wait.
It's already there.
Sorry, there's a train in the background. Colonialism is
But hold
there.
on a second. There's an airplane. There's a biplane in the air. Like, this is well into colonialism.
This teepee in the middle of this diagram is being attacked on all sides by colonialism.
This teepee is probably that nylon jobby they got at Mech.
Oh, Jesus.
I think so.
So I'm going to rate this 5 out of 10. It just does the job. It reminds me of many university pub crawls when you're out of, once you like get your 2 or 3 like good beers in, everything else kind of tastes the same afterwards. So you switch to this because it's like $3 a can or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of like university pub crawls because I was a poor college student who had to budget my money on these experiences.
Okay, this beer has always been beneath me. Like I spent
You bougie fuck.
I spent a month living out in my car in 2006.
And you didn't deign to drink some...
didn't dare drink this.
Fuck.
I drank Fireball instead.
Oh, Fireball's really good.
It is really good.
Oh. You're one of the ones that calls it a Pilsner then.
It is Pilsner. I'm going to rate this 13 residential schools out of 1960 scoops.
Oh, shit. Oh. That's a low rating.
Yep.
I am fine with this beer. Like, it's fine. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
It'll get the job
that's
done.
generous.
That's not worth a 6.
It's cold and it's got the bubbles.
Like your heart?
Yep. Cold like my heart and also bubbles like my heart.
She's like, beer is really like sex,
If
sometimes it's great and that's fantastic, but sometimes it's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta have Pilsner
You just gotta
sex.
have Pilsner sex.
If you have
And sometimes
bubbles
it
in
tastes
your
like
heart,
piss.
you have pulmonary edema and you're dying.
You don't know my life.
Though it is still better than Lucky Bastard dill pickle vodka.
Oh God, anything's better than that.
You guys are a bunch of fucking wieners.
I smelt it and had enough.
There were several comments both on Twitter and on the Discord about how happy your reaction made people.
Yeah, everyone liked everyone's reaction.
They love your suffering. Genuinely.
Everyone loves my suffering.
It's true.
That's how come I still exist.
Especially me.
Richard bleeds for you, OVPod.
You got that right. No, you.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know. I'm biased because, I used to drink Pilsner when I was in college, and I was still, a dipshit, misogynistic frat boy back then. So, I have that connection with it, but really, at the end of the day, it's cold and wet, and it's fairly inoffensive and tasteless, and it'll get me buzzed. So, 5 out of 10, I'll say.
Yeah. It's fine.
And what are you drinking, Esmeralda?
Nothing. I'm lame.
Are you drinking water?
It looks like you had coffee or something.
I have some cafe. Yes.
Well, there you go.
What kind is it? Where did it come from?
I'm not sure if Bailey's is considered alcohol or not at
It
work.
is. It definitely is.
And for Pilsner, I have to say I totally agree with Richard. Sorry. Because that was exactly my same story back in uni, and I will give it a 5. It's kind of like blue balls feeling, blue ball feeling.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Swollen.
It's
throbbing?
it's like
swollen pendulous testicles.
Yep. Just aching for satisfaction.
That's
you're not going to get it out of
You're
this
never
can.
going to get it. No. Okay.
Swollen blue pendulous testicles out of get the fuck out of my house.
I thought you were going to make a band name out of that.
Nope. Not this time.
I guess it's a bit wordy, isn't it? Yeah.
Throughout time, different cultures have developed different ways of dealing with death. From Egypt to Mexico, rituals have been rediscovered by archaeologists and historians. In Mexico, Dia de los Muertos celebrations are considered an integral part of Mexican identity, an identity fused with Mesoamerican rituals, European beliefs, and Spanish culture. Today, this tradition reaches into the United States with a new and evolving way of celebrating continued reverence for death and those who have passed. The reverence for death in Mesoamerica is obvious in many archaeological sites around the region. For over 2,500 years, Mesoamerican cultures shared many of the same traditions when celebrating their ancestors. In the post-classical period, this celebration was a month long and took place in August. Though preparation for Dia de los Muertos can span over a month, today, the celebration generally takes place in 3 days, with many indigenous practices intact.
So, disclaimer. I'm just some white dude who read a bunch of stuff on the internet. My thoughts, along with those of those I've read, are likely colored by settler colonial ideas. I'm open to corrections or just being told that I'm outright wrong. I've never visited Mexico, not even for spring break or anything. And with the exception of a 2006 trip to a Cuban resort, the furthest south I have been in North America is likely Chicago. I am perhaps the very furthest from any sort of anthropological cultural expert or what have you. And to be quite honest, I don't even understand Saskatchewan culture sometimes. So anyway, let's begin.
He is very white. Yeah,
he's very white. I think out of all of us, he's the whitest.
I think so.
I'm like neon white.
I'm with you though. I went to Tijuana and got embarrassingly drunk, so I don't think I got a good taste of Mexican culture and people.
I went to Mexico and I took a bus from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara and it broke down halfway. Ooh. And the people on the bus just got off and wandered away in all directions. And eventually I, without knowing any Spanish at all, figured out how to get a cab driver to take me and 3 native Mexicans back to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh boy.
It was very scary.
I've been in Mexico a couple
times. And then I bought 100 pesos worth of weed, smoked it all in one go, didn't get a fucking buzz. The asshole sold me industrial hemp.
How much does 100 pesos of weed buy? Or how much is
a fistful?
Oh,
fistful of pot.
Fistful of industrial hemp.
That sounds like roughly an eighth. Yeah.
Okay, so the Day of the Dead, or in Spanish, Dia de Muertos. Did I say that right?
You did not.
You're so cute.
Okay.
I'm super white and I knew that was wrong.
Okay, how do you say it?
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos.
Ooh.
Can you say that? Can you say that super slow for our super white listeners?
Dia
de
los
muertos.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks. See, and this is why she's my guest today, is because she can correct me both in pronunciation as well as fact and everything else. So it's celebrated throughout Latin America, but is predominantly a Mexican holiday, as that is where it originated. It's a multi-day holiday where families get together to pray and remember friends and family. November 1st is generally referred to as Dia de los Inocentes, meaning Day of the Innocents, but also Dia de los Angelitos, which is a Day of the Little Angels, and it honors children who have passed. November 2nd is referred to as Dia de los Muertos, or Dia de los Difuntos.
Fuck, you're white.
I'm sorry. Which honors...
Nazi pig.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, is honoring adults. I guess this custom honors the dead through festivals and very lively celebrations. Death is seen as just sort of a natural part of human life experience. So it kind of takes place around the same time as Halloween, but is certainly not a Mexican Halloween. Halloween is typically kind of a dark night of spooky fun, and this festival is often, marked by celebration and bright colors. I also don't believe Mexicans really celebrate Halloween. Do they?
No. That's usually it has been adopted in the northern part of Mexico because it's closest to the States, but not really.
Not really. Okay. So on Dia de los Muertos, the dead are also part of the celebration, having awakened from their eternal sleep to share in the celebrations with their loved ones. The dead, I guess it's perceived that the dead would be insulted by mourning or sadness. So Dia de los Muertos celebrates the lives of the deceased. There is food, drink, parties, and activities, that are often done that the dead had enjoyed while they were still alive.
Correct. I know.
Am I doing good so far?
Yes.
Okay.
That's such an interesting parallel to our culture, because our culture has, I don't know, at least the funerals I've been to and the family mourning that I've experienced, you might talk about them once in a while, but you never really relive them. You kind of say goodbye at the funeral and then just periodically talk about them afterwards. I think
the concept of this event really appeals to me.
Yeah.
I think this should catch on in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So celebrations may also include building private altars called ofrendas. Did I say that right? Oh, sweet. Which is kind of based in Aztec tradition. The Aztecs basically considered souls to live forever, and they just enter into a different realm when a person dies. So this view was kind of similar to that of the Christian colonizers as well. And it's actually kind of common for, I guess, an ofrenda to kind of have three tiers. The top tier identifies the dead person who's being invited to the altar. It's kind of identified often with a photo or some possessions of theirs. Then the second tier would have some things to make the dead feel at home, such as their favorite foods, or maybe some tequila, or if it was a deceased child, they would place the kid's favorite toy or a toy to kind of draw the spirit towards the altar. And I guess sometimes the altar would also include Christian crosses or symbols of the Virgin Mary as well, just kind of depending on the religion, I guess. The bottom of the altar would usually include lit candles, some mirrors, some soap, a wash basin, and a towel, so that the dead, when they arrive at the altar, would be able to refresh themselves when they arrive.
Because no one wants to climb out of a grave all stank-ass.
Exactly. You know, like you're physically moving from one realm to another. Like, that's pretty exhausting.
You got to mitigate that clam bake.
Well, exactly. So, you know, they get cleaned up so that they can be with their family.
Ood is dying. I have murdered him.
I'm good. I'm calm and yeah.
And they'll also put orange and yellow marigolds to around the altar as well, because the marigold was the Aztec flower of the dead.
Cool.
What things would you guys put around your altars if they were built?
Pussy.
Just like in general.
And just and not pussies.
Like a fleshlight?
No, like a vagina.
Like is it flesh-like in design?
No, an actual severed vagina.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how would you cut that out?
With a saw.
Just like scoop it out?
And then I would embalm it so it doesn't go bad. Well, like a reciprocating saw, like all the way around. Like you'd get.
I don't think it would work that well anymore after.
That's why I said you embalm it.
I still don't think that would work.
You use.
I don't think you want that. I think that you want that, but it's not what you want.
Don't fucking tell me what dead ass pussy I want.
Sorry, not sorry.
Any complete maniacs in our audience that have cut out people's vaginas?
And there are two of you. Both of you.
My vagina is still attached to me.
Before you turn yourself into police, just write in at ovfeedback@gmail.com.
I don't know. What would you put at your altar, Sage?
Probably beer. And probably cigarettes. I miss smoking so much.
So Pilsner and cigarettes. Gotcha.
I am a classy broad.
When we built Valhalla's altar, a cigarette was one of the corners of the star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of her thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would have. I don't know. I really like animals, so I'd probably have one of my pets' collars, one of my pets' toys.
Oh yeah, I guess. So something sweet like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably weed and video games, which is super personal. Yeah,
I'd probably have a Snickers bar because I'd be hungry after being dead all that time.
Yeah. Eat more bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a bag of Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips.
You're always totally a dread necromancer before you have your Snickers bar. Yeah.
And maybe something of my child's.
Yeah.
I guess I love him.
What about you? What would you have on your altar?
Oh man, I don't know. The thing is, because these altars are, built after you're gone, I think it will be interesting to see what the other people actually perceive that it was very important to you. Because you think, oh, I will put this and this and this. And then you find that your family, friends, acquaintances were to put these other things and like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I was so attached to this thing or that I did that or that I really loved this food or this. So it's interesting to see what others perceive from you that you really treasure. And sometimes you think you're aware, but then you really surprise you. You're like, oh my God, that's right. I always buy this brand of whatever. I never thought of that was so particular about this or that. So.
I guess an outside pair of eyes can always be really perceptive. Eh?
Yeah.
You just get to see your blind spot where you come off like you appreciate something and you don't, or like, how the kids like give you like the same tie every Christmas, something like that,
Yeah. like you guys made me realize that I stay in stuff like that, like way too fucking much. And
you do say stuff like that a lot.
Yeah. So they place the marigolds around the altar because of their powerful scent and their colors, which are used to help the spirits find their way to their altars.
But sorry to interrupt you, but like that's like my favorite part of like the flowers.
The flowers, the marigolds.
Which in Spanish, the name of the flower is flor of. Sorry, I'm mixing Spanish and flor de cempasúchil. So in English, marigold. It's just when you go to any cemetery around that time, it's just filled with these flowers, and they also kind of represent the sun. And so it's just very, very colorful, very like, it's just very like comforting, hopeful, like
cheerful.
Yeah. So I love those. Do they have them here?
Marigolds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like all year round? Like, can I go?
Well, you can put them indoors
somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like a black thumb, so I don't know anything about plants. I'm just looking up what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty. It's like a little orange puff.
Yeah, there's different tones, and some of them are very golden.
Yeah,
I'm clicking images and nothing happens anyway.
Yeah, I think we're in kind of a dead zone down here.
Yeah,
because it took a while for even this but there's all kinds of different colors of marigolds.
And
put
people
around.
sometimes put them together with thread or whatever, and they make strands of them to hang them or. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was described as a beacon to the spirits, right? Like it calls out to them and guides them.
Yeah, and I've heard too that it just also represents the sun.
Cool.
It's actually interesting because Aztecs actually would selectively breed marigolds to produce larger and more attractive flowers. They also had used the flower for medicinal purposes as well, as they were thought to heal everything from hiccups to lightning strikes.
Cool.
Yeah, so to them it was a very important plant in their way of life as Aztecs.
It seems like if you are struck by lightning and are well enough to eat some marigold afterwards, it's kind of
you might be all right.
Yeah.
It might work out for you.
Yeah.
People would also burn copal tree resin, as the scent is also fairly powerful and thought to be very attractive to the spirits as well.
It's very nice.
Is it?
I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
What does it smell like?
It's it's kind of close to some kind of incense, but it's just
patchouli or sandalwood.
No, not patchouli. Although that's my favorite, incense. But it's just more resembles kind of like the bark of a tree, kind of that smell.
So kind of earthy and
earth and
deep.
maybe with some moist to it. It's just very nice. But yeah, you need to.
So families will gather around the ofrendas, sometimes in the home or at the graveside, and they'll share stories of the deceased or pray, or some of them will even dance. Some places they just make a whole lot of noise to help awaken the dead.
Sometimes kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's your one time a year to see your deceased, you got to take advantage of it.
I mean, sometimes my alarm barely wakes me up, so if I was dead, I would need the extra noise, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So some will actually wear costumes of skeletons and have their faces painted to mimic skulls, specifically the calavera. Is that how you say it?
Yes, calavera.
Calavera Katrina?
Katrina. Yes.
Katrina, yes. This is a common symbol on the Day of the Dead. I guess calacas and calaveras, which are skeletons and skulls, respectively.
Yeah, correct? And La Katrina is also a term to just refer to death.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be taken by La Katrina, meaning I'm gonna die or something.
Just take me death now.
Or Katrina, take me away or something. Yeah. So it's kind of like a skull, like a skeleton, but it's, I guess, female.
Katrina Take Me Away sounds like a band name.
Oh, yeah, Katrina Take Me Away sounds like a 90s alternative group.
Yeah.
And half their songs are love songs.
Yep.
Yes. And so anyway, the skeletons and skulls will appear as decorations during the celebration. You can find them in, I guess, candy sugar skulls, as masks, dolls, etc.
We have a sugar skull right back there.
Yes.
Yeah. Made by one of our lovely patrons.
Yes.
That is so awesome. We have the best fans.
We do.
Fuck yeah. I just bought some copal incense.
Yeah.
I will report back. Yeah.
By the way, official positive call out. Soon I'll be posting the main feeds spreadsheet. Fucking look at it because it's amazing.
Oh my god, the spreadsheet.
Whoa. Who could possibly love us enough to do all that bullshit? Christ.
Yeah. So, calacas and calaveras are almost always as portrayed as enjoying life and are often dressed in fancy clothes. I believe the origin of this style of skull art originated with Jose Guadalupe Posada. Okay.
Sounds Mexican?
Sounds Mexican, I guess. Okay. Basically, he would portray death as a skeleton kind of dressed in fancy French fashion. I guess a quote attributed to him is "Todos somos calaveras," which means we are all skeletons. Did I get that right?
You're so cute.
I'm so cute.
He means well.
I mean well. That's why I have you here, is to correct me, because I'm going to butcher this and need to.
The only thing that is crossing my mind is because you sound so sexy with that accent. Does that mean that that's the way that I sound?
You sound so sexy with your accent.
You do. You could describe the ingredients of a peanut butter cookie and it would sound good.
Yeah.
We have we both have sexy accents.
No. When you speak Spanish.
I have a sexy accent. High five, sexy accent time.
And guys, I just have to say, I don't know if this is like private information, but Richard, Big, and I are the same age.
Oh my!
But he looks way older.
Like exactly the same age,
and way white.
He's turning.
He does look way white.
Whiter.
Yes.
Our own Richard Bigley is turning 34 on the 19th.
Oh, now they know how old. Okay. Oh, but they haven't seen me. Okay.
No, you're only as old as you feel.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm 6. I love candy.
Okay, Bigley.
Okay. So we are all skeletons, which basically says that under our clothes and our skins, we are all the same.
Correct.
Diego Rivera?
Diego.
You
don't watch Dora? I freaking hate Dora. Sorry. But Diego is her
My
friend.
son likes Dora.
Yeah.
I think they're way too fucking nice to Swiper. Or what is his name?
Swiper, no swiping.
Yeah, they're way too fucking... Every time he shows up, you know exactly the shit he's going to be up to, and you're polite to him off the bat. Why don't you say, like, "Okay, Swiper, we know your game. Why don't you fuck off for 5 minutes?"
We're trying to get over the mountain.
Yeah, we're trying to find the third thing on the secret map. We're doing something. Don't swipe.
You guys have too much time, especially
I have a
Ood.
I have a child.
You have a child,
But
so
it
you
is
have
a
an
good
excuse.
show.
But
It's a
Ood,
very
I
good
have
show.
no idea.
I don't like it though.
It's very like
educational.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even babysit anyone.
Yeah. So Diego Rivera featured similar styled skull, or I guess a similarly styled skeleton in his mural. Dream of a Sunday afternoon in Alameda Park. The skeleton was female and named Katrina.
I know it was a female.
What?
How do you know it was a female? Like, did it?
I guess I'm going to assume through clothing choice. I'm going.
Sorry,
to...
we just had a gender and sexuality diversity.
Well, I think the hip structure will give it away mostly.
Yeah. And so anyway, I guess, and Katrina is also slang for the rich, is my understanding as well.
Actually, the pubis symphysis bone is not fused in men, but is fused in men, but not fused in women. That's how they tell.
Like to allow flexibility for childbirth?
That's correct.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But I think also the reason why maybe they made it, I mean, this is just my personal guess now that I'm thinking about it, that they made it feminine is because in Spanish, everything has a gender, the same as in French.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So la.
Why is this table a lady?
Oh, I know. So in Spanish, like when you say
ladies.
la muerte, muerte is a feminine word. Mm-hmm. So I think that's, I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing that's why they, but I don't know.
Yeah. So the skeleton Katrina is holding the arm of Jose Posada, who is dressed in a bourgeoisie costume. Also present in the mural, just behind Katrina, is Frida Kahlo, who we spoke about in episode 47.
Yes, flashback to the Frida Kahlo episode.
Call back. It's a real cool, obscure episode. You guys should all listen to it.
I literally wrote an essay about it and then didn't have an episode, so read my essay. Yeah. And it got a really good mark.
It did. And it got
and the fans liked it too.
Yeah.
It got a significant. Yeah, people really liked the departure from a regular stuff just to dive into like.
Sorry, not sorry. You can all go fuck yourself. I'm talking about murder.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah. Sometimes Mexican artists.
Yeah.
Often murder.
Often murder.
So this, I don't know, from my perspective, I guess this holiday is kind of interesting in the sense that it kind of merges indigenous Aztec ritual with Catholicism.
Like, what is that? Santeria?
I'm sorry?
Santa Maria?
Santeria. Like, where they combine Catholicism with, like, indigenous, like, voodoo beliefs.
Santeria is more like voodoo shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
like you because we also believe in that, right?
Yeah.
In like evil spirits or whatever. So you will go to the market to the santero, and you can buy all kinds of herbs, candles, things that you can do or that you can pray or that you can even eat, and that's all related to like spirits. And I think it does work, honestly. I haven't done it, but I think
And you
there's
use
something.
do you use it to like cleanse spaces and like deter spirits?
Yeah, and sometimes, for example, when you move to a new house and the weird things start happening, or you move to a new business and everything was going great, and then you start like losing sales or something, you'll bring a santero or santera, and usually they are of indigenous descent, and right away, it's just it's a very visceral reaction. So you can, they will tell you, if there's like an evil spirit, or you need to do this, you need to do that, or whatever person. And that's another like part of like our, I guess, culture that is really interesting, but it's kind of sometimes it can be scary. But
I would love
in all the markets, do you have like that area? When I was a little girl and my parents used to take me to a market, they would like kind of like pull me like, I knew that corner was like for Santeria and Santeros and stuff. And they always made it seem like, don't go there or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Cool. Okay. Someone needs to do a Santeria episode. We need to have her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
And I can make somebody fall in love with me if I,
Already done. Sorry, not sorry.
Can you turn it off again afterwards, or is it like a permanent thing?
I don't know.
Okay. I might be willing to be a test subject for that. Yeah.
Well, you can't love me any more than you already do, though, Ood.
Oh, to the ends of the earth, Mr. Bigley.
All right, on.
Yeah. I will carry your elephant dong over my shoulder for the rest of my days.
Like
I will both hold and carry your load, sir.
Fantastic. I feel supported here and really loved at this place.
You're starting to feel too comfortable, so go fuck yourself, Richard Bigley.
Can we like delete her from the podcast or
go
something?
Go fuck yourself.
All right.
I know you love me.
Yeah, don't yell at Sage on Twitter. She's wonderful and we love her to bits.
And please follow me on Twitter because I don't have terribly many followers. It's like OV Richard on Twitter. And every time the podcast retweets some sort of inane rambling that I post, I get like a follower or two out of that. So
I think I even have more followers than Ood. I think I'm winning.
Yeah.
Definitely have more than Leon.
I need
for sure have more than Bigley.
I need to up my Twitter game. I need to do like pranks where I like go into 7-Eleven and fuck with the employees.
Or just no, that's mean.
That's
bougie.
That's what people on Twitter do.
Bougie. Or get shit-faced and post filter selfies of yourself.
I can do drunk anime reviews.
Or just post filter selfies. It's been working for me. Yeah. I look cute as hell on my
Let's drink some wine and watch My Hero Academia.
I'm in. Let's drink wine and watch My Hero Academia.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
All right. And now that has been settled.
Sorry.
So anyway, the Catholicism was brought over by the Spanish. And I mean, being Catholic, it's also celebrated on All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, which are Catholic holidays, which as an aside, I guess those holidays themselves were actually stolen by the Catholics from the European pagans. But anyway, before the Spanish colonization in the 1500s, it was originally celebrated at the beginning of summer, but eventually became tied to October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd to correspond with these Catholic holidays. But I guess back pre-colonization, it was a festival dedicated to the goddess Mictecacihuatl. Did I say that right?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
It sounded pretty good.
Mictecacihuatl?
Yeah, I'm like uncultured swine, so you're probably doing pretty
She's
good.
shaking her head, so I probably butchered that.
Mictecacihuatl?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit up Richard on Twitter. And
yell at him. Yell at him.
Yell at me. Tell me I said it wrong.
I think it is right.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. See?
Esmeralda thinks it's right.
Esmeralda thinks it's right.
There we go.
Mictecacihuatl.
Cihuatl.
I got to keep saying that.
I think it should be MIX to say Mixteca.
Okay.
Like, because Mixtecos were an indigenous group.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's an X, but
Mixtecacihuatl.
It will make sense to say Mixtecacihuatl.
I sat in my quote unquote office last night saying it over and over and over again to make sure I said it right.
But maybe you're right. Anyway, okay, let's move it on.
Hopefully it's right, yeah. So anyway, she's known as the Lady of the Dead, and it was basically believed that she was born and then sacrificed as an infant. And she, along with her husband, rule over the afterlife. And she watches over the bones of the dead and presides over the festivals of the dead.
Sounds like my house.
Yeah. Hail Val.
Yeah. Also Hail Val.
I just wanted to say something about the date of. There's a holiday of November 1st called Dia de Todos los Santos, which is more religious. So, for example, I can say that Dia de los Muertos is could be celebrated or acknowledged by whatever Mexican, regardless of their religion, which mostly are Catholics, but I mean, there's, all kinds of religions in Mexico as well. But the Dia de Todos los Santos, it is specifically for Catholics. So, because, some of them were like, what is this Dia de los Muertos? Let's, whatever.
We need to white it up.
But I don't, we don't, nowadays it's not tied to a religion, which is what I like.
Yeah.
Because it's just something that you can, a tradition that you can,
I carry forward. It's like a good tradition.
Yeah, it's just to remember somebody that is not longer here.
So just to clarify, Day of the Dead is more of a Mexican culture thing, like shared by the people. And the event that takes place on November 1st is more for Mexican Catholics.
More religiously inclined, yes. Because we have in the Catholic religion, there's a lot of saints and
so
people,
many saints.
and just saints for actually in calendars. You know how you have start holidays and stuff. Yep. If you have a Mexican calendar, in almost every other day,
same within a Ukrainian,
there's a saint, and I'm just like, okay, so you could pray to all these people. Yeah,
you can have a saint day every day.
Same a lot. Yes.
Same with Ukrainian.
So these celebrations of the dead have actually gone on for 2,500 years.
Oh, Christ.
Or longer, I guess.
Almost as old as I am.
The Aztecs considered mourning of the dead to be very disrespectful, as the dead were still part of the community in spirit. So to mourn them is terribly rude. Because they're still with you. And so the holiday was originally celebrated in central and southern Mexico. Why not in northern Mexico? Well, my guess would be because it was a strongly Aztec celebration, and northern Mesoamericans were not Aztecs. So that would probably explain why.
Story checks out.
Yes. However, today, most regions have some sort of celebration. What exactly the celebration entails, I guess, varies kind of depending on where you are.
Well, right now, to my knowledge, it is throughout the country now is mandatory to teach in schools. So
cool.
You are taught that, and most schools will build an altar with all the students, and they can bring pictures of their loved ones or little things, and they build huge altars sometimes in the gym, or it's very, very beautiful, and people share that, kids and stuff share that with each other. So I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah. That's adorable.
Yeah, whatever week this episode is posted, check the Instagram, check the Twitter. I'll be posting pictures of all this.
Yeah.
He really likes the marigolds now, so.
I do.
Yeah.
But you have to say it in Spanish. Let's practice. 1, 2, 3. Flor. Which means flower.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Flor.
De. Cempasúchitl.
Cempasúchitl.
What's the second part?
Cempasúchitl. It's like TL at the end. Cempasúchitl.
Cempasúchitl.
But I mean, you can just say it quick, like cempasúchitl.
Cempasúchitl.
Yeah, you just kind of eat the end of it.
Yes, just eat the end.
So it's interesting to kind of contrast these festive celebrations of the Day of the Dead, compared to the rest of the Catholic world and
everything's
Italy.
so fucking somber and
Italy, Spain, South America, the Philippines. The people are all celebrating All Souls and All Saints days on November 1st and 2nd, and they're having special masses where they all get together and clean the cemetery tombs and and just pray and they don't really have that color or celebration of.
Meanwhile, in
the
Mexico, there's mariachi bands all
and
over the
flowers
place.
everywhere,
all night long,
costume and food and drink and
fun. All night. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the Western world, just let us proclaim the mysteries of faith.
Yeah.
Christ has died. Christ is risen. See, I don't know my fractions. That's in my fucking head forever.
We're Orthodox, and I recently went to a funeral, and it was all please save the soul of your servant. Make sure she does not go to hell.
It seems like we get this through faster if we didn't sing everything.
Oh yeah.
One funeral I went to of Ukrainian style. The guy it was like an auction sale. I swear, like the guy was
Catholic.
banging,
Was it Catholic or Orthodox? Catholic.
And it was just like an auction sale where the guy just was like. Well,
they have to make everything fit into the song. So sometimes they'll be like, and then Luke and his brother John, and then they did this, and then they
exactly, just like that. Just like that.
Yep, that could have used a second draft.
It's a thing.
One time I went to a Ukrainian Orthodox funeral that was 2 funerals. They had 2 funerals for the same person.
Were you at my wedding?
No.
What the fuck? Why were you at my wedding?
You didn't invite me.
I'm sure I invited you. No, I did. No. I did invite you. Remember it.
Why didn't I come?
I don't know.
Sorry.
But I got married in an Orthodox church, and it was like an hour and a half long, so you probably didn't miss out.
How are we recording? Are we...
Oh yeah, it's still good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned down the phones a little bit.
Okay. All right. So the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) put together a list of intangible cultural heritages with the intent of protecting cultural treasures that are intangible. You'd think, hey?
Mm-hmm.
So like cultural things that, while they may produce something material and tangible, the practice itself is, doesn't actually have any sort of physical being that exists outside of the practice.
Right.
So for example, like Carnival of Granville in France or Baltic song and dance celebrations in Estonia and Latvia.
Oh, yoga, yeah, that one.
Yoga in India, that sort of thing. So in 2008, Day of the Dead was added to this list.
Cool.
Yeah.
Only 2,500 years late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and of course culture changes and everything changes as it's influenced by everything else and is perpetually dynamic. So a recent addition to Day of the Dead is the Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City. You see, here's what happened is they filmed a Day of the Dead festival scene in the 2015 James Bond film Spectre.
Oh.
And before this, there was no such thing as a Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City.
This is news to me.
But the movie caused such an interest in Mexico, which coincided with the Mexican government trying to promote pre-Hispanic culture. They decided that they were going to organize another one for 2016. So they were expecting, I think, about 130,000 people to show up, and there was 250,000 people who attended in the 2016 Day of the Dead parade, a year after the Bond film. So I guess as with all things, some felt it was a great thing, particularly bar owners along the parade route. They thought it was a great thing. Others, not so much. Some people called it a cheap stunt. I guess things change, culture evolves, and, everything influences everything else.
I'm not sure how I feel about the parade. I mean, I guess this is news to me, but I don't, this is a very rooted tradition with lots of symbolism and
it seems very like family oriented.
It's very like, it's kind of sacred, so I'm not sure.
So you think it's,
but I'm not
cheapens the celebration?
Well, the thing is,
you
you do this at, the cemetery with, all like everybody, like we're not, I don't know. It just seems like we're selling something, but we don't have, why would we have the need to sell? Like, this just like a, I don't know.
What about the movie Coco?
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, I don't feel bad about loving it now.
No, I love it. And also the Book of Life is great. It's just,
in the Book of Life.
There's this quote from, I think, Star Trek that I really kind of, I kind of related with why we celebrate and honor the dead and stuff like that, which is that, so the quote goes something like this, death is that state in which one exists only in the memory of others.
Yeah.
So I guess Coco's message, right, is, as long as you remember, that's their existence. So that's why the tradition is so ingrained, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it the final death is when you're never thought of or spoken of again?
And that's that's in the movie Coco, exactly. The fear of that, the
main.
Yeah,
the
it's
main
like, oh my God, like she's gonna forget and I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very sad. I believe I cried in that movie.
All right. And so with that, I am Richard Bigley, and I'd like to thank my special guest,
Esmeralda,
as well as
Paige Murray,
Leon Pilger,
and Gallifrey.
And have a good night.
Cheers.
And you guys, and no, try to make your sugar skulls next year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to add something too that is very important for this day,
absolutely.
Which is, and I thought you were going to touch on that, is something called calaveras or calaveritas, which are poems that you make for the person that has departed, and they are funny poems about the dead. So you make a calavera, say like if you were dead, I would make like a calavera for Richard, and but it's all very, very funny, very rhymey. So when I was in school, part of our like homework was to write a calavera for someone, and sometimes the teacher will let us pick actually between each other. Okay, if he was dead or she was dead, what kind of calavera would you write? And then you tease of some of the quirky things that the person used to do, or the certain things that person used to say, or whatever. And it's kind of funny poems.
That's like beautiful. That's just like so light and
so you can also Google calaveras or calaveritas, and it's kind of like a rhyme kind of poem kind of type thing, and something that you can also do, and they do it in schools every single year.
Oh my god. Listeners, please write me one of those.
Okay.
I kind of like that.
I love it. I'm like so into that.
Like for example, for Leon will be something like, Leon was in a hurry to get a vagina on his altar when all of a sudden, and then something like that, like something funny
that happened, and then everyone made fun of him,
and then he got herpes,
and then or something. Yes, I don't know.
Call forward to our STI episode, which is coming.
Okay.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well,
give her the skull, and she can
try to. It's nice to
oh Jesus,
do it every year if you can. Like it's a nice way to honor and celebrate somebody's life, and it's
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because dead is not gone.
Yeah, one of our listeners made that for us.
Because, like, for us, because death is a mystery, but it's the only thing that is for certain that we know.
Oh, I love that.
And the only thing that you can prove, the only thing that I know is that one day this flesh won't be here. Anything else is such a mystery. So, but it's the only thing that, we have in common for certain. So we cannot escape it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So somebody made this?
Yeah, one of our listeners made it for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it's lovely. I love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, hey?
Yes.
It was Angie who made it. I have her on Facebook.
We don't deserve our fans, but they're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
They're fantastic.
They're so much nicer than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking cool?
And another misconception I think is that some people think like, oh, you're making fun that somebody died, or you're making fun. It's not that. It's I guess the best way that I could describe it, explain it is, why do you take yourself so seriously? Why do you take your presence on this earth so seriously? Because like in 1 second you won't be here, and it's not up to you.
Yeah.
You're fondly remembering like funny, endearing things.
Like, like just calm down.
Yeah.
You're gonna like end in any given second. It's not up to you. Nobody knows.
No.
So it's kind of like, just we're all heading there at some point. So it's not making fun that somebody died, but that, hey, you take your life so serious, and my job and this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and you go to the washroom, have a heart attack, and you just, whatever.
Gone,
yeah. So kind of like embrace your life, enjoy your time here. And that's it.
Yeah,
amazing.
We all got to step into the mystery and the darkness together.
We don't know what happens. I don't know.
May as well go in with a smile and a chuckle.
Awesome. I love
fantastic.
Alrighty. Richard, would you like to sign us out one more time?
Okay, can you like edit out the last one because that was premature? And well, I'm sure a lot of people know about me being premature.
That's why he chose Bigley for the That's why he chose Bigley for the last name, compensating for some trauma.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Keep that in. I like that.
That's the name of your sex tape. Keep that in. I like that.
You just gotta learn. You just gotta learn to embrace the 2-pump chump round 1, and then come back like a hero for round 2. You know.
And she's like, "Is that it?" And I know what you're saying. Is that it? And you want some more? Yeah.
Yeah. Or call back to our sex toys episode. Get a strap on. Once you come with your flesh dick, you can get your silicone dick out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you could start with the silicone dick.
I would start with the silicone dick too.
But you'd be hard while, like, how would it?
Oh, one in the pink, one in the stink.
But what if your partner's not into that?
What if she is?
Well, if she is, then off you go.
That problem solved.
You play. Yeah.
And with that, I'm Richard Bigley.
You play chopsticks on her ass. Actually, I don't know if the 2 cheeks are tuned correctly for that.
And with that, thank you for listening, fellow occultists. And I am Richard Bigley, and my special guest in studio,
Esmeralda, the Mexican princess.
Fuck yeah, you are.
And
no, it's me.
No,
you can eat my entire ass.
Okay.
Sage Murray.
Leon Filger.
Ood Gallifrey.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck you, Richard.
Alrighty, Day of the Dead. An often appropriated, often abused, often misunderstood festival of the Mexican people. And thank you to our guests for coming on and making sure we weren't talking out of our ass about this, and for providing all the intelligent context. Thank you so much. For a palate cleanser, here's a recording I found of a mariachi band in Mexico City at a Day of the Dead festival. And I think it captures the spirit of this festival quite nicely and puts you there for just a little bit. So here is that. See you in the after show. Alrighty, Ood, back with the after show. Thank you for showing up. We're gonna do some prayers to Val. You know, it was a coincidence. Just as I was editing this episode, Val, in her great wisdom, came back from her absence, and we are so glad to have her back in our lives and see her light gaze upon our skin once again. So Val is back. So once again, if you join the Patreon chat, you can worship her in person. And here are some of the prayers that were uttered during her absence. So here they are. Here's just a prayer of worship from Papa Bray. Blessed be mighty Val. Yes, and I agree. Blessed be mighty Val. Hail you. Here's a prayer from Joe. Oh, great goddess Valhalla, please grant me the strength and wherewithal to finally kick this tobacco smoking habit again. Val, please help Joe, and if you want to, live your life, all that good stuff. Hail you. And from our very own Al Salito Lindo, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Dear Valhalla, give me the strength and wisdom to decide on whether or not to wear a bra on this upcoming day. Thank you. Who knows, that date may have already happened, but since Goddess Valhalla transcends time and space, I'm sure she can work some chronomancy and bless you in her absence as well. So I hope that date went well and that your plan for heavy petting was successful. So yeah, those are some prayers to Val. If you would like to pray to Val, just hit us up on Twitter and say what you would like. You can also ask Val to smite people or bless people, or you can just sing praises in her name. If you want your prayer to be guaranteed to read, we gotta go to the Patreon, because there is where the cult of Santa Valhalla gathers and converses and does our dark magic on reality. Yes, so that's where the party is. That's where your prayer is guaranteed to be read. So www.patreon.com/ovpod, and you get a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I've been Ood Gallifrey. Remember, the winter season is starting to come up. Temperatures are starting to drop. Make sure your self-care is set in, and make sure you have a support network, somebody that's going to check in on you if you go off the radar. Because seasonal depression is a real thing, especially if you have regular depression or any kind of mental illness before that. So make sure that your self-care plan is checked in, because sometimes that winter season can hit you hard. Love you! Bye-bye.